Well, hello once again. It's David Breslow with you in this Dose of David segment. I am the founder of Performance Success Strategies and author of Wired to Win. Today, I want to talk to you about a really important message that I call Bless the Wisdom. Now, what do I mean by blessing the wisdom? So many of us, and I know for myself also as well in particular, things that have happened in my life, instead of blessing them when they're happening, I've actually used them to cause me stress or to get angry or to get frustrated and so on and so forth. And it took me a number of years to realize that it was much more important, no matter what the conditions were, to eventually look at the wisdom in those conditions. Literally bless the wisdom. Because in every one of those, as I looked back on it, had something in there important for me to know. There was a lesson I needed to see. Now, I've addressed this a little bit in a previous segment, but this is a little different. I want you to start looking at the conditions of your life, no matter what they are, whether you like them, whether you don't like them, but bless the wisdom that is coming along with them. I have a personal example here from my family. My mom was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis back in the 60s, and she eventually healed herself without any medicine, without any drugs. And at that time, of course, there was no internet, so she didn't have the advantage of Google, where she could press a button and learn all sorts of things that were out there in the field of scientific discoveries and so on and so forth. She didn't have that advantage. But what she did was she was incredibly persistent, and she did whatever she needed to do to find out what she needed to do to heal herself without the traditional Western medical community at her side, which she basically walked away from. That's another story altogether. I'll get into that in a different segment. But for today, I want you to know that after a few years of her on her journey, on her healing journey, I remember her saying that she really started to heal when she was able to look at the condition and bless it. And for the longest time, I had a hard time wrapping that around my mind, because I'm thinking, how could you bless something that was so damaging, so uncomfortable, so life-changing, so limiting, and in some cases painful? How do you get to the point where you can bless something like that? And she would say to me, you have to. It's a necessity. If you really want to change anything or heal a medical situation or an illness condition, you must get to the point where you're blessing the situation for even happening, because there was wisdom in it. She finally discovered the wisdom that was there for her to learn, even through something as ugly and disgusting as an MS diagnosis. So it was pretty incredible. She wrote a book called Who Said So? And in that book, she talks about this. And that's when her and I started talking about it. She's fine now. She's 93 years old and in terrific shape and symptom-free for over 50 years. So she didn't have the kind of MS that kind of came and went, where it was remitting. It is gone. She has all the MRI tests and the exams. It's not there anymore. The myelin sheath has regrown. So whatever symptoms she had are not in remission. They are gone. Okay. And she swears up and down to me that a lot of this came about as a result of her finally getting in touch with the wisdom that was there for her. Because I tell you, when I first heard her say, I blessed the day I had the diagnosis, and I blessed that I even had that experience, I just used to sit there and go, you gotta be kidding me. How can you bless something so disgusting? It took me a while to kind of wrap my head around that. So I've obviously had my own situations in life, as I'm sure you have, where I just thought blessing them was the last thing on my mind. These were too angry, too frustrating, too like, who needs this? And I can't believe this is happening to me. That kind of stuff. What I didn't realize at the time was I was literally prolonging that experience for myself, but I didn't get it until I read the book and started talking to her about it and so on and so forth. And still, it took me a while to really wrap my mind around that. So I'm asking you to consider, no matter what conditions are going on in your world, to sit for a moment and bless the wisdom. Ask yourself, what is the wisdom that I need to see from this condition, even a medical condition? What is the wisdom I need to see? Because these things don't occur randomly by accident. Okay, there's wisdom there. Bless the wisdom, because when you do, there will be this sense of relief, this sense of integration, this sense of mind-body connection and in synchronicity, because you're not fighting anymore. There's no more struggle. You're blessing the wisdom, and then you can start to move forward with even more intensity and more success from that point. That was the message she was trying to get to me. It was the blessing of the wisdom of the condition that allowed her to move forward and continue on her healing journey. So that's my message here for you today. If you can get to the point, no matter what the condition is or what the situation is for you, of sitting down and looking at it with a real observer's mind and take a look and say, what's the wisdom here for me? No matter how hard it might be for you, no matter how much you might struggle to do that, take a look and see what the wisdom, because it's there. The wisdom is there, and then bless it for being there and watch how you feel. So I really hope you get an opportunity to do that. Dave Breslow, thank you once again for hanging out with me for this Dose of Dave. And as always, you're welcome to visit www.davebreslow.com. Look forward to seeing you there. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care.